ethanol mixture.
Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So there are only 16 participants. So shall we wait for some time or we should start the class? You just finished up one class now? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Audible.
I'm audible now? Okay. So now we will wait for 2 minutes, okay? So let's see, is anyone join the class? Otherwise, I will start the class because there are only 16 participants, and I will go to teach you all how we will determine price and output in monopoly market. Okay, so we will wait for 2 minutes. Hello, students. Okay, now we will start the
We
class.
haven't do this.
All are there?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is monopoly market? Can anyone give me the idea about monopoly market?
Individual seller.
Sing.
Yeah, single seller or individual seller. Okay, and there's a strict restriction about the entry of the other firms in the market. Okay, that's why it is a single seller or single producer market, but the number of buyers are very large. So now we will discuss how this market obtain its equilibrium output and equilibrium price. So what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is that position from where no one willing to change their either production or the price of their products. So how they determine their prices, this also can be generated from this equilibrium study. Now in monopoly market we can divide two time period. One is short run and the other one is long run. So in when we discussed about the cost, then we discussed what was short run and what was the long run. So today I will not explain it again about the short run and long run. Just I will go how a monopoly market determines its price and output in either short run or long run. So you see in our slide, so there are two division is given. One is short run and another one is long run. In the short run, you can see there are three different types of price and output determination under monopoly market. One is supernormal profit, then normal profit, then loss. And in long run, we have only supernormal profit in case of a monopoly market. Okay. So now we will discuss what is supernormal profit, what is normal profit, and what is loss. So in this slide, you see the second part, this one, supernormal profit. So what is supernormal profit? Supernormal profit where price is greater than cost of production. So price is the thing which determines by the producers in case of monopoly market, because we already discussed monopoly market is a price maker market. That means the producer himself determines the price of his products. Okay. And there are cost of production. So when he produces something, there are cost of production. So cost of when price is greater than or more than the cost of production, that situation is called supernormal profit. Okay, so you see here the symbol is given, price is greater than cost of production. That this indicates if price is more than cost of production, the producer has some extra money on his hand, and that money, the amount of extra revenue or price which he gets apart from his cost of production, that is called supernormal profit. The second one is normal profit. So what is normal profit? When price is exactly equal with the cost of production. Suppose the cost of production of a commodity is 10 rupees and the producer sell the commodity at 10 rupees. So if what is his cost of production, he sells the commodity exactly at same price. So we can't say that he faces loss because his cost of production, because if we subtracted the cost of production from the price of the product, then it's zero. So there are not any loss. Again, in case of if we say profit, so price, he produces the commodity 10 rupees, he sells the commodity at 10 rupees, that means he has not any extra profit. So that situation, that means his ultimate result will be 0, and at that position, that is called normal profit. So this is the situation, normal profit, and the third one is loss. So we all know what is loss: when price of a commodity is less than its cost of production. Suppose the producer produces a commodity 10 rupees and he sells the commodity at 8 rupees. Now what is the amount of his loss?
Rupees.
Yes, students. Yes, Pallavi.
2 rupees, ma'am.
Very good. So 2 rupees is his loss. So this all we will explain with the help of diagrams. Okay, so before go to the diagrams, we will see what are the equilibrium conditions, because when we discuss the price determination of this markets, we have to face different type of cost curves and revenue curves. So MC is the marginal cost curve and MR is the marginal revenue curve. So cost indicates the cost of production and revenue indicates the price of the commodity. So there are two necessary conditions to be equilibrium of any market. These two are, first one is MC equal to MR. Marginal cost should be equal with the marginal revenue. The second condition is MC cuts MR from below. So if we see the diagrams, then it will be more clear that MC curve cut the MR curve from below, not from the upper segment. Okay, so these two are the conditions. So you see the slide once. If you have any doubt, you ask me. Okay, any doubt? Now we will discuss with the help of these diagrams. So look at the diagram. I will give you the proper picture. This diagram is only for your understandings. Okay. So here we will discuss short run and the condition of supernormal profit. So what happens in supernormal profit? Our price of a commodity is more than the cost of production. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. The x-axis represents quantity and the y-axis represents price of the commodity. So you see this is the AR curve. AR curve indicates average revenue curve. That means average price of the products of a monopoly market. Or this is the MR curve. MR curve is the marginal revenue curve. Okay. So these two are the downward sloping. Why it is downward sloping? Because if production increases, revenue or price of the commodity decreases, because we know that if quantity increases, demand is not generated that much, so the producers are bound to reduce their production, okay, to sell their products. So this is the region of downward sloping AR curve and MR curve. Now you see this is the SMC curve. Can you see? This is the MC curve. SMC means short run marginal cost curve. So this is the MR curve. You remember the conditions. So these two conditions, MC equal to MR. So here see, this is the MR, this is the MC. So to be equilibrium, they should be equal. So where it is equal? It is equal at this point, the point E. And you see the MC curve cuts MR curve from below. So this cuts the MR curve from below. So we can say that point E is the equilibrium point. Okay. Now we have to determine the price and output. So how we determine the output? If we draw a perpendicular line from this equilibrium point to the x-axis, we will get the equilibrium output because x-axis represents the output or quantity of production. So we have to draw a perpendicular line to the x-axis and we will get equilibrium level of output, and OQ is the equilibrium level given on here. Secondly, now we have to determine the price of the commodity. So always remember price is determined at AR curve. So this AR curve is also said that it is the demand curve of the farm. So this is also AR curve is the demand curve. So which one is the demand curve?
AR curve.
AR curve is the demand curve. So this is the demand curve also. So we have to expand this equilibrium point to the AR curve. So just you use your scale, draw a straight line, and where it cuts to the AR curve, from there you draw a perpendicular line to the y-axis. Okay, you see from here I extended it to the AR curve and then I draw a perpendicular line, and this line cuts the price axis at point P. So OP is the equilibrium price of the product. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. But could you repeat again, ma'am? SSC curve.
SSC SSC curve. Yeah, then I will come to SSC curve. Till now, I think there is not any problem till this
No,
point.
ma'am. No,
Okay,
ma'am.
now what is the price? Now we will see what is the price of the product, because quantity of production is OQ. Okay, now when the producer sell OQ amount of output, his total income or total price is O P A Q. So this is the portion of his price or income generation. So his equilibrium price OPAQ. Okay. So now we have our price. Now we have to determine what is the cost of production. So always remember we determine the price at average revenue curve. Similarly, we will determine the cost of production at AC, that means average cost curve. We measure cost at AC curve, we measure the price at AR, that is average revenue. So this is our SSC curve, which is actually a U-shaped curve. So now you see at what point the SSC curve intersect the expanded point of our equilibrium point. So it cuts at point B on this expanded area of from our equilibrium point. So this is point B. Okay. So the point where it cuts where the SSC curve cuts the expanded portion of the equilibrium point, from that point, if we draw a perpendicular line to the y-axis, that means price axis or cost axis, then we will get the cost of production. So now see, at point B, this SSE curve cuts this expanded area. So from point B, we draw a perpendicular line to the y-axis, and then it cuts at point C, and we can say that OC is the amount of cost of production. Is it clear now? Is it clear?
Ma'am, point B, I'm not clear, ma'am.
Point B is the point where, so this is the SSE curve. So at point B, we measure where the SSE curve touches this expanded area of the equilibrium point. So this is the equilibrium point. From this point, we will draw a line to the AR curve. So at the point where it touches this expanded area, that is point B. Is it clear? You understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. From that point, we have to draw a perpendicular line to this y-axis. So now the cost of production. So we have equilibrium at point E, cost of production is OCBQ. So what is the cost of production? OCBQ. So this is the cost of production. Now we have our cost of production and price. So we will determine the supernormal profit if price is more than cost of production. Now we will determine supernormal profit is equal to price minus cost of production. So is equal to, what is price? Price is OPAQ. So this is OPAQ minus cost. What is the cost? OCBQ. So OCBQ. Now what is the remaining area? So look at the graph. From OPAQ, if we subtracted OCBQ, we have CPAB. So this is the portion of our supernormal profit. So see the diagram. If you have any doubt, ask me.
Ma'am, point B and point E between this portion, what we called equilibrium point, ma'am.
Which point?
Point B and point E. Within in middle point, what we called equilibrium point.
No. Point E is the equilibrium point. Only point E.
Yes. And B and E between middle point, what we called, ma'am?
It is there is no name between this point, this area between these points, because these are the extra area. And just we expanded it to meet the air curve. Okay. E is the equilibrium point. B is the point where the AC curve cuts, that means SAC, short run average cost curve, cuts this equilibrium expanded area from the line which draw from equilibrium to the air curve. It cuts that portion. That is called B.
Okay.
There is no name in between the portion B and E. Okay.
Okay.
You understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Any more doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone, any doubt? Or we can go for the next concept. If not, then I will go for the next concept. Okay. Okay, next we will discuss normal profit. So this is the situation. So this is the same situation. X-axis, Y-axis, AR curve, MR curve. This is the SMC curve. This is the SSC curve. So the SMC curve cuts the MR curve at point E, and E is the equilibrium point. So now we have to determine the cost of production. So how we will, we will have to determine the equilibrium output. So if we draw a perpendicular line from this point E to the x-axis, we will get equilibrium output. So this is the way how we extended this point. Okay. So, but this is OQ is the equilibrium output. Now we have to determine the equilibrium price. So how we will determine the equilibrium price? If we expand this point E, or we draw a point from E to the air curve, then it touches the air curve at point A, and we draw a perpendicular line to the y-axis. So this is the line which we draw to the y-axis. So when we draw this line cuts, this line makes a point P. Okay, so price is O P A Q. So equilibrium point E, equilibrium output OQ, equilibrium price OPAQ. Now we have to see what is the cost of production. So this is the SSC curve. That means we can measure price or cost of production from this SSC curve. So this curve cuts this expanded area at point A, and if from point A we draw a line to the y-axis, then it is, we assume that it is point C. So C and P are the same point, okay, in this diagram. So this is point C. So now the cost of production is OCAQ. So OCAQ. So now we will measure normal profit. So normal profit is the situation, I already mentioned that, where no loss, no gain situation. That means if we subtracted cost from price, so result will be 0. So price is OPAQ. So this is the price minus cost is OCAQ. C and P are the same point. So is equal to 0. So that means no profit, no loss situation, and that's why we called it as normal profit. Is it clear?
Ma'am, SSC curve why above the AR curve in this picture diagram?
In this picture, it is because we have to make normal profit. We have to draw the picture of normal profit. SSC curve can place in any place. We can place the SSC curve in any place according to our convenient diagram. Now we have to see normal profit. For normal profit, we have to make cost and price are same. And since we have to make cost and price are same, it will be same only at the situation where SSE curve and price are same. So we have to draw both these two, cost and price, at same point. That's why it is above the AR curve. Okay. Now you just see one other diagram. So this is loss. Oh no. Where is loss? So this is loss. You see, in earlier case here, SSC curve touches the AR curve. Correct. So you see in this diagram, SSC curve is above the AR curve. So this is only because we can place the SSC curve any point where we want. Okay. So
Okay, ma'am.
you see the figure, you see the diagram. Just check, is there any point which you not able to understood? So is it clear to everyone? Is the figure is clear to everyone? Okay. So next class, that means tomorrow, we will discuss the situation of loss. Okay. Today you read these two, normal profit and supernormal profit, in your book. You have your own book now? If you haven't, then go to the Google. Then also you will get some figures, the idea about normal profit and supernormal profit. Tomorrow we will discuss about the loss. Okay. So if you have any doubt, tomorrow I will try to clear it out. You just inform me and give your roll number and name in our WhatsApp group. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.